guys, Maggie here. So, great news for us Tomb Raider fans. It seems that Amazon, the TV adaptation of Tomb Raider, has been reportedly scrapped and has saved us from what many has feared would be another misguided interpretation of the beloved franchise. And I'm going to be discussing on why they decided to pull the plug all of a sudden. So, let's get to it. Before I start, you guys really enjoy this video, to like, share, and subscribe to be part of my Hellfire Club. And down in the description down below, please follow my social media platforms as well as subscribing my husband Kaim Kennedy, guys. And of course, as well, please give him a contact involving his book so find a perfect agent to get him published. Alright, love you, Kaimi. So let's get back to Tomb Raider. So, like I said, this is a great news of what Amazon decided to make this decision. It is so huge, and I'm saying to myself, yes, finally, no more of this woke ideology. We don't need Phoebe to get involved with Tomb Raider. And the best part of all this is why were they thinking of having Sophie Turner played by, you know, Laura Croft from the very beginning? Like, who in the right mind thought she fit the shoes of Laura Croft? Please tell me right away that she is a good fit. I'm being honest. That is like the stupidest way they try to pull exactly because Sophie Turner as Laura Croft was not what fans wanted because she didn't embody the adventurous spirit, physical powerness, and distinctive personality that makes Laura such an iconic character within the video game and throughout the live action adaptation of Tomb Raider. So she never fit any description of Laura Croft to begin with. She's fine playing Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones and Jean Grey in X-Men, but as Laura Croft, nope. Not even close. I'm sorry. She can do anything else besides all this. But overall, this cancellation is giving us hope that perhaps in the near future, the adaptation will make, better understanding of what makes Tomb Raider the series so special and cast someone who truly captures Laura's essence. Sometimes the best thing for a franchise is knowing when to go back to the drawing board. What I'm trying to say is, you guys, it's best to like start from the very beginning, get your information, about lore, get to know the lore behind Tomb Raider. Don't just like put it out there that you're gonna do something. And to top of all this nonsense, what made things worse is that Phoebe wasted tens of millions of dollars to do this project, and she has done nothing whatsoever to make it a good series. Because the head of Amazon MGM was waiting on her and she was procrastinating. She was like taking her sweet time, not knowing about the franchise. She just, in La La Land. And that's when the Amazon, head person, whoever she is, decide to leave the project. And what makes matters worse is that she just wants nothing to be part of it. And that makes it hilarious that, with all the time wasting, the money gone down the toilet, it's just a waste of space and a waste of time. So she's saying, like, okay, you're gonna, like, take your sweet time just to come up with something. Yeah, I'm not gonna get involved in your project. I'm done with Amazon. I'm done with you. You just, like, a waste of my time. Like, I don't need this right now. So let it collect in the dust. Let it be like burn in the fire, in the dumpster fire, that is, because we don't need this. And all I'm saying is that it's gonna be definitely a big backlash on Sophie Turner to be Laura Croft, like I said, because that is like a poor choice in casting her. I'm sorry. Maybe her genre is mostly like action packed and somewhere else. Maybe doing some superhero thing or something relating to fantasy. Because I'm sorry, because I seen Sophie Turner's work, by the way, in Game of Thrones as Sansa. She was, in my opinion, she was kind of like her character, like kind of annoying, the spoiled brat. Like, she wants to find her own prince in some ways, and sometimes she has her way to like express herself. And later on the show, she becomes a woman she is meant to be. She becomes Queen of Winterfell, which it never happened in the books. Obviously, they just decided to like change the whole thing within the season. I just didn't quite understand it. She just came out of her shell out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Well, she did grow up throughout the season, that's for sure. But in the books, it's a totally different ballpark. I'm just saying. And for her to play Jean Grey in the X-Men, movie about her own backstory, about how she got her powers and whatnot, like almost like a teenage version of Jean Grey, that is. She did successfully made great movies. I'm guessing that is. I believe so. But when it comes to Dark Phoenix, it immediately flopped. So I don't know how she can nail, portraying Laura Croft. Not even close. I'm sorry. I can't even picture herself doing the combat boots, the crop top, tank top or whatever, the cargo pants or shorts. They probably will like kill the image of how Laura's supposed to look like. It would just look like a young girl who looks like a teenager who already got married with the Jonas Brothers, and she end up having this controversial, situation going on. About how she doesn't like men. That's how they envision Laura Croft to be. It's going to be the same thing what they did with Netflix. It's a total disaster. No one wants to watch it. The ratings will plummet since day one. So I'm so glad that Amazon decided to like pull that plug. It's like, game's over. We're done. Like hopefully in the near future we find a better Laura Croft or better writer that knows the material. So thank God they listened to us. I feel like we can finally breathe. We can like relax, take a chill, and tell God to thank Him so much that they didn't have to involve this whole DEI and woke, BS because we don't really need it, and thank God, no more of this, we don't need it because we already seen already too many adaptation of Tomb Raider nowadays. We already saw with Angelina Jolie, she was great and all. She only did two movies. We saw with, Alicia, she only did one, almost similar to the um video game, but not quite. It was just like her own spin to it. But the games are way better. I prefer playing the video game than seeing live action adaptation of the same thing over and over again. How Laura goes to every tomb nowadays, how she meets Trinity, how she meets this villain of Trinity. She gets to see her father. She goes back in time to see her father. I don't need to hear the story over and over again about her because it's just like exhausting in my opinion. I prefer playing the game, just seeing her experience, exploring the tomb, knowing the history of the tomb, you know, and decided to like kick some butt within the franchise, and that's it. Enough is enough with this whole live action. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts about Amazon pulling the plug on Tomb Raider because this is great news so far, you guys. I'm being honest, so let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Let me know. And like I said, you guys, if you guys really enjoyed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully you guys follow my social media platforms down in the description and below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my husband, Kaim Kid. Alright? Love you, Kaimi. So there's a help our leader, Megan Negan, the walking and fango 20 times out. See you guys next video. Love you, Kaimi. Peace out.